Hello, everyone that might be listening on YouTube, although not too many people have been recently. But if you are, hello, and like and subscribe and enjoy the poetry. So I did actually write a poem today, believe it or not. So let's see if I can find it. Should be under photos. It's in 3 parts. No title yet. And it's kind of rough, but I just wrote it about 5 minutes ago. And glasses would be good. Sunlight filtering onto bushes below, wind waving everything. Tree in front of me looks dead. Then I look up and see green leaves on the top branches, touching the lower reaches of heaven. Such a complex scene of dying, living and dying, yet also utterly simple. Number 2. They say Leo Tolstoy, when he came into his 50s, after he had become famous and wealthy, had a spiritual crisis. He could not find any meaning in his life. He started to give away his money and his possessions. In his new simplicity, he found his original happiness. Number 3. Looking at all this beauty and thinking of Leo, I feel myself emptying like a broken glass. What is left is the essential freedom, the great joy in not having to figure it all out.
I like the line about the first one that said, uh, touching the bottom of heaven.
Oh yeah, that I added that in at the last minute. I did read that about Tolstoy. It was kind of interesting. He had all that fame and wealth, but it didn't make him happy. Then he sort of simplified his life, much to the chagrin of his wife, who was horrified at what he was doing. Hello, Barbara. Got a full house today. Great. Oh, let's see, what do we do? Oh, I read a few from my book. This is called Stories. My friend, fresh from some training, said to me, "John, you're not living your life, just the story of your life." As a writer, I bristled a little at this. But stories are how we understand our lives, I replied. Do you even make up your own story, or do you take them from TV and books? And what are the stories we take from society? The stories that we are Americans, or Jewish, or Palestinian. That's not fair, I replied weakly. The stories you make up about yourself, do you trust the author? That's very clever, I say. You should be a writer. Stories just add a layer between you and reality, she concludes. But we poets seek to hint at the truth, I reply, trying to keep some credibility before she could think up some cogent reply. I suggested taking a walk. The sun is shining, the birds singing, flowers blooming. She says, now isn't this better than living in stories? I see her point, but also realize I will always keep making up stories. As Suzuki says, it's not one or two, but one and two. We need to simply hear the birds singing before we write about the birds singing.
That's that last line.
Does that make any sense? I don't know. Oh well.
You need to hear the birds singing to write about the birds singing. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful
Oh,
line.
oh, thank you. Okay. Ellen agrees. Okay, here's one called I Am. It's an idyllic spot here, sitting by a flowing creek, surrounded by trees and hazelnut bushes. A cottonwood tree grows straight out of the water. A bird sings a melodious song. As well, there are human voices. A group of older women are having a picnic, their voices husky with age. And somewhere children are playing. Their voices explode in high-pitched exuberance. A different bird is singing an insistent trill. The creek flows like time around a dead stump. I breathe and sigh. I'm sitting still, but at the same time flowing toward the end of the stream. Looking out and listening to the water, it all mixes with the voices of women and children. In this moment, there is no time, just the sound of life endlessly chirping like some celestial bird, saying, I am, I am, I am. Oh, this is apropos. It's one called Simple. That was that one I wrote today. I was trying to write about being simple. Simple. I've been doing some serious thinking. Inside my mind, thoughts and words are connecting, making logical pathways and conclusions. I'm satisfied, but ultimately feel like a squeezed lemon. Everything makes sense, but in a vacuum. It's become like those treatises of philosophers, so specialized only other philosophers can read them. I look outside and see the finches have brought their babies to the feeder. One still has baby feathers sticking up on his head, looking like a punk rocker. I exhale through my heart, take myself down to the dog park. My thoughts are now outside playing with these slobbering dogs. New conclusions arise, some not logical at all. But somehow I trust them more. It's all about relationship, I see. Looking at the trees and sky, I'm brought back inside myself. Only this time the vital, alive world is with me. Now in some mysterious way, some higher knowing enters. It's so simple anyone can understand it.
What was the line? I exhale through my heart. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Well, our lungs surround our heart, so our breathing is right there. Well, okay. Let's see. Let's read. Glenda, you sent me one, I believe.
I sent you a couple. The one I sent you last week was A Tree's Life. You still have that one?
Oh, I wonder if that didn't come. No, I just have daughter, and then I have bird musings.
Okay, well, I'll send you the Tree's Life next week.
Okay. Yes, it's odd every once in a while when text doesn't come through. Okay, well, I'll read bird musings. How do baby birds learn which song to sing? A titmouse his and a chickadee hers. Without baby bird school, where is language taught? How do they sing notes without any thought? And who tells them when it's time to fly south, or to come back in spring with the flowers about? Where do they learn that a cat is their foe, or to shelter in trees when dark storm clouds show? If I were a bird, whose song would I choose? A yellow finch's warble, a whippoorwill's blues? Would I choose as a mate the same bluebird as me? Couldn't I pick a cardinal instead? Maybe then I'd have purple babies to feed and let them choose which song that they'd sing. Perhaps they'd sing new songs never heard of before. Purple songs written ignoring the rules. Just sing with abandon to share with some friends. Maybe maybe bring some harmony to gather a flock. A brand new choir to fill up the air with notes learned in tandem, chosen to soar. Without baby bird school, without lessons taught, just songs made of bird song, wrought from bird choice. Is that a new one? Or is that an old
Yeah,
one? Oh, it is.
yeah, and the thing about purple is that if you're a bluebird and you're a red bird, then you make a purple bird.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. For a long time, I just had the finches around, and now a couple sparrows have come back from
I have
God
a lot of
knows where.
sparrows.
I read that the sparrows actually fly up to Canada and back. It's pretty amazing. Cool. Okay. Well, let's see. I'll read some Ursula Le Guin. I don't know why I like her poems. Maybe because they're simple. Come to dust. Spirit, rehearse the journeys of the body that are to come, the motions of the matter that held you. Rise up in the smoke of Palo Santo. Fall to earth in the falling rain. Sink in, sink down to the farthest roots. Mount slowly in the rising sap to the branches, the crown, the leaf tips. Come down to earth as leaves in autumn to lie in the patient rot of winter. Rise again in spring's green fountains. Drift in sunlight with the sacred pollen to fall in blessing. All earth's dust has been life. Held soul is holy. On second hill, where in this wild hill alone a child watches the evening star, let these bits of ash and bone rejoin the earth they always were, the earth that let her sing her love, the gift that made her the giver, here on the lonely hill above the valley of the river. Lullaby, lullaby. Where's my little fleeting cat? A year, an hour, a day. Where's my little girl at? Fleeting away, sleeping away, found the way clear away, nowhere far, nowhere near. A day, an hour, a year.
Hmm.
To the rain, mother rain, manifold, measureless, falling on fallow, on field and forest, on house roof, low hovel, high tower, down-welling waters, all washing, wider than cities, softer than sisterhood, vaster than countrysides, calming, recalling, returning to us, teaching our troubled souls in your ceaseless descent, to fall, to be fellow, to feel to the root, to sink in, to heal, to sweeten the sea. I like that line, to sweeten the sea. Travelers. This is in three parts. Number one, We came from the far side of the river of starlight, and will cross back over in a little boat, no bigger than two cupped hands. Number
Oh,
two, thinking about compassion, a firefly in the great dark garden, an earthworm naked on a concrete path. Three, I think of the journey we will take together in the oarless boat across the shoreless river.
an oarless boat.
Yeah, oarless, OAR.
So if you have an oarless boat, how do you get across the river without oars?
Well, I think she's talking about dying, maybe being brought along by fate or whatever.
Yeah,
He wrote this book not too long before she died, I think. Mary Oliver has a poem like that. She says she wants a boat with no rudder. It can't be steered.
that's pretty much how my whole life is. Boat with no rudder. That's my life.
Well, sometimes that's the best. Just
Oh, it's
go,
gotten me in trouble, but it's also been a lot of fun. So,
just go with the current.
yeah,
Yeah,
my husband and I drove an RV, and we would just get lost on purpose. You know, we were driving everywhere, and we ended up at some really strange places. We found Billy the Kid's museum out in the middle of nowhere. You know, things that you would never think of. You know, just because we got lost.
that's cool. Did you ever read Steinbeck's Travels with Charlie? It reminds me of that.
Oh, I read that.
That's a good one. He took a when he got older. He took a trip across the country and back in an RV with his dog Charlie.
Hmm, I should find that.
Yeah, it's a nice read. It's a nice, comfortable read. Let's read some more of Ursula. There was a jar in Oregon, not this time in Tennessee, on which I set a crimson pear, without a reason but to see the charm of chance propinquity. Propinquity, I'm not sure what that means. The fine arts. Judging beauty, which is keenest, eye or heart, or mind or penis? Lust is blindest, feeling kindest, sight is strongest, thought goes wrongest. In autumn reading, the poet read in the scholar's room in the Chinese garden, her words half heard and rush and crash of rain on formal ponds and pavements, like verses cut in an old stone, blurred by moss and lichen. Under the downpour purple, chrysanthemums nodded in silence. There is always something watching you. 8 bright bits of jet in the head of a tiny spider hidden in a cracked veneer. Eye of a goldfish from its clear element, to which ours is all depths and vanishings. The triple mirror in the half-lit hall, dwindling by repetition into its own dark. A telescope across the city, or an Aldebaran. Your jealous God, your neighbor's sad desire. The sun itself, whose eye Whose eye you only meet briefly as it begins to turn away. The old ghost in your room you've never seen, although it visits timidly sometimes. The forest where you lost your way, though it knows where you are going. Outside, I'm half unseen to me, my skin a screen to all within. My eyes can see a star, but not my mind. The more I think, the more I'm unfamiliar. Insight is half blind, the surface bounded. Where is my core? What inwardnesses are unseen, unsounded? Lesser senses. Thinking of beauty as sight, we keep forgetting the warmth of the fire and the brightness of firelight. In graceless ripples, the grace of water to thirst. Soft as air, the touch of fur on the touching hand is as beautiful surely as the curve of the cat's leap. No keener beauty than a dry branch of sagebrush, the harsh, poignant scent, bringing the silent desert distances back to the heart. I like that. That makes me really smell that sagebrush. Oh, let's keep reading her. I'm enjoying her tonight. Following company, a paw, a questing nose, half wakened me, and I let him get under the covers. He curls up and purrs himself to sleep, asleep. Cats are less troublesome than lovers. Sometimes. Sometimes they're little bastards when they meow you awake at 6 in the morning. Doze. The little stone my mind slips into the cloudy pond and slowly settles in the silt at the bottom of the water. It could be forever. Farther, adrift on the sound of rain, on a windless sea, in a sailless skiff.
An oarless boat and a sailless skiff.
Yeah, she's really thinking of going off into the into wherever we go. Sleep. The way it comes unnoticed so easily, like when we were on the tidal flats of the Great Bay a long time ago, the two girls wandering out between me and the far-off glittering water, each of us crouching at the rock pool, absorbed, and then another rock pool, till I looked up and saw the shine of water between the black rocks in the weed rack, where there had only been only sand, saw how it covered up the rocks so easily, a rising as soft as sinking. And the little one too far away to hear, her sister and I ran toward her, calling, hollering. Finally she looked up, stood up, and struggled back to us through the quick-flowing, deepening water. We splashed through the shallows to the sand, stood, turned, watched the glittering tide rocking where we had been out there. The other element, water, where to be, we must be other. They're all we know, we must know differently. In vastnesses, abysses, and shifting images, in silences, illusions, monsters, gleams, and always, under all the dark and the peaceful sinking deeper as it rises. Well, that poem sure took off. Well, I think anybody who's lived near the ocean has had that experience of playing around in like the rock in the tidal ponds, and then all of a sudden realize that the tide has come in or is coming in. Dreaming tracks. Strange are the ways in the tracks of dreams. Mind follows in the nightly wanderings. The Syrian girls, their dark and timid eyes. We gave the eggs to them. I finally found the furry nest the cat had made in the bank of dirt below the tennis court. How glad I was to see him there and safe from strangers who'd taken over the house and the coyotes everywhere. The eggs were all painted with red dots and curlicues. Connections vanish as I wake, but still the little paw prints on the hidden track into the nest are comforting to me. I wonder how the Syrian girls got. Oh, it's a dream, I see. Okay. The people. Some people have begun to come into my dreams from a long way away, traveling over the mountain passes that nobody living knows. Old people who smell like fog and the soft bark of redwoods. They talk together softly. They know more than I know. I think they come from home. Ooh. Old people that smell like fog. Well, let's see. I think it's actually Mary time. When I am among the trees. When I am among the trees, especially the willows and the honey locust, equally the beech and the oaks and the pines, they give off such hints of gladness. I would almost say they save me and daily. I am so distant from the hope of myself, in which I have goodness and discernment, and never hurry through the world, but walk slowly and bow often. Around me the trees stir in their leaves and call out, "Stay a while." The light flows from their branches, and they call again. It's simple, they say, and you too have come into this world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light, and to shine. Hmm. Well, there's that word simple again. I guess it's the night of simple. When the roses speak, I pay attention. As long as we're able to be extravagant, we will be hugely and damply extravagant. Then we will drop foil by foil to the ground. This is our unalterable task, and we do it joyfully. And they went on, listening. Listen, the heart shackles are not as you think. Death, illness, pain, unrequited hope, not loneliness, but lassitude, rue, vainglory, fear, anxiety, selfishness. Their fragrance all the while rising from the blind bodies, making me spin with joy. She got a lot in that one. Yeah, maybe I'll read one more. Fireflies. At Blackwater, fireflies are not even a dime a dozen. They are free, and each floats and turns among the branches of the oaks and the swamp azaleas, looking for another, as who doesn't? Oh, blessings on the intimacy inside fruition, be it foxes or the fireflies, or the dampness inside the petals of 1,000 flowers. Though Eden is lost, its loveliness remains in the heart and the imagination. He would take her in a boat over the dark water. She would take him to an island she knows, where the blue flag grows wild, and the grass is deep, where the birds perch together, feather to feather, on the bough and the fireflies, blinking the little lights hurry toward one another, and the world continues, God willing.
Hmm.
All right. That was a good night. I enjoyed those.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great week, everyone.
Yeah, thank you,
You too.
Joey. Yeah, you too. Glenda says thanks. Okay, guys. I shall see you all next week.
Next week.
All
Have a
right.
great evening. The rest of your evening.
Yeah, it's a little earlier here than for you.
Yeah, it's 9:30 here.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Have a lovely week. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye.